Hello, this is my pre-AP English Holocaust project on the famous World War II doctors, mainly focusing on Joesf Mengele because he is one of the most famous. Joesf Mengele had a PhD in physical anthropology and a doctoral degree in genetic science. In 1937, he became an assistant to Dr. Otmar von Verstescher. Hope I'm saying that right. At the Institute of Hereditary Biology and Racial Hygiene in Frankfurt. Verstescher is known for his experimentation on twins. This is probably where he got his fascination for twins. Now, he joined the Nazi Party in the same year. He then was drafted. I'm getting ahead of myself. He received a medical degree in 1938, then was drafted in the Army in June 1940. I assume during the same year, he volunteered for medical services of the Waffen-SS, or Armed SS. Later, his documents were documented in early 1943, as he returned to Germany in 1943, the same year. He then began work at the Kasher-Wellm Institute, KWI, for anthropology, human genetics, and eugenics. In 1943, he received a promotion of rank SX captain. That's supposed to say captain. He was then transferred to Auschwitz on May 30th, 1943. This is an important date because probably wouldn't have been able to do as much stuff as he did if he was not in Auschwitz. He was believed to be the highest rated physician at this camp. This is not true, however, he was lower than this. I presume before Auschwitz, he worked in a gypsy camp until its liquidation. In 1943, he undertook the position as chief camp physician at Auschwitz with his 30 other colleagues. Selections happened to see which prisoner would be killed and who would be used for experiments. This is important because the quote I'm about to read relates to this. Mengele is known as the Angel of Death, or sometimes the White Angel, for his coldly cruel demeanor on the ramp. He is associated more closely with his selection duty than any other medical officer at Auschwitz. Although, by most accounts, he performed this task no more often than any of his colleagues. This association is partly explained by his post-war notoriety. This image of Mengele at the ramp is in so many survivors' accounts has also to do with the fact that Mengele often appeared off-duty in the selection area whenever trainloads of new prisoners arrived in Auschwitz, searching for twins. Holocaust Encyclopedia on Joesf Mengele. He was very interested in using twins, obviously, and with full license to kill or maim his subjects, he performed a wide range of agonizing, often lethal experiments on Jewish and Roma twins. Roma is gypsy, by the way. He didn't only have a fascination with twins, he had a fascination with heterochromia, the disease where your irises are two different colors than each other. He collected his patients' eyes after death. This relates to another thing. He firmly endorsed the Nazi racial theory. He did experiments to explore the lack of resistance in Jews and Romani to various diseases, attempting to show degeneration in Jew and Roma blood through physical oddities shown through samples of bodily tissue and body parts. Eyes are counted in body parts. Many of his test subjects died from this, or were given the more sparing, I hate to say, other way of being murdered for post-mortem experiences. At least they didn't have to go through the experiments while alive. He enlisted the aid of medical professionals, all of his colleagues did, to perform mundane tasks and carry out autopsies on victims. Much of early knowledge of Mengele's activities at Auschwitz comes from Dr. Miklos, a prisoner physician who assisted Mengele under duress. Miklos published his experiments initially in his native Hungary in 1946. His work, Auschwitz, a doctor's eyewitness account, appeared in English in 1960. This is a quote from the Holocaust Encyclopedia on Joesf Mengele. He honestly hoped that his work at Auschwitz would be enough to go on and produce his second doctorate to become a professor. And during 1945, however, he fled Auschwitz. He fled to escape Soviet forces that were going to Germany and freeing other camps, all the camps. He was in U.S. custody for a time, but was unknowingly released due to not much information about him in the U.S. at the time. In 1945 through 1949, he used fake papers to work near Rosenham as a farmhand. He then settled in Argentina with help of family. Then he moved to Paraguay, then to Brazil. He spent his last years of life in Sao Paulo. He suffered from a stroke and drowned on February 7th, 1979. Fun fact, this is the same year my dad was born. He was buried in a suburb under the alias Wolfgang Jared. Later was sold out and exhumed from his grave. Later, he was identified as Joesf Mengele. He managed to evade capture for 34 years. I will have my references in the description, or if not, they will be somewhere else. I don't know where I'm going to put them. Anyway, bye.